Hey everyone, I'm Amber. Welcome back to my channel. You've probably heard of the ancient Chinese wisdom classic, the Tao Te Ching, also known as the Tao Te Ching. Maybe you've even read a translation. But did you know? The Tao Te Ching we read today might be quite different from its original form over 2,000 years ago. These differences are significant enough to change our understanding of its author Laozi's core ideas. First, who was Laozi, and why has his book endured for millennia? Laozi was a remarkable figure from the late spring and autumn period. His official position was guardian archivist, librarian. But this wasn't just any librarian. He was a living encyclopedia for the Zhou Emperor, the top cultural advisor. When nobles came to court and faced obscure ancient rituals, they asked him. When historians recorded major events and encountered ambiguous historical references, they consulted him. Even the emperor's sacrifices to heaven and earth and the issuing of the calendar relied on his quiet expertise. But the Zhou dynasty was crumbling. Laozi felt deep exhaustion and despair. The ritual and music-based civilization he had devoted his life to preserving was rapidly decaying under power struggles and unchecked desires. Sensing even greater chaos ahead, this wise old man who saw through the world's illusions made a decision to leave. So, Laozi mounted a gentle azure ox, considered by the ancients an auspicious symbol representing steadiness, strength, and a connection to nature's spirit, and slowly rode west out of the capital, Luwei. He journeyed to a western frontier fortress called Hongwu Pass. The commander there, Yin Shi, was no ordinary soldier. He was an astute official, skilled in astronomy and fascinated by Taoist philosophy. One dawn, as Yin Shi scanned the horizon from the pass tower, he saw an astonishing sight. Purple mist surging from the eastern sky, stretching an immense 30,000 miles like a mighty dragon heading straight for Hongwu Pass. Yin Shi gasped, recognizing it as the sign, purple key from the east, indicating a sage approaches. He immediately ordered guards to scrutinize travelers, especially any elderly men of striking appearance. Soon, soldiers reported an old man with white hair and beard, radiating an extraordinary presence, riding an azure oxen seeking passage. Upon seeing Laozi Yin, she was struck by his sage-like aura, with eyes clear as a baby's yet unfathomably deep. Convinced this was a transcendent master, Yin, she earnestly begged him to leave some wisdom behind for the world. Laozi obliged, composing over 5,000 characters. Then, he mounted his gentle ox and slowly rode away. History records no definite end for Laozi. Some say he traveled west into the deserts, achieving immortality. Others say he'd vanished into the mountains, becoming one with nature. Taoism venerates him as the supreme deity, Lord Lao, or the supreme venerable lord. Now, how did this silk manuscript version come to light? In 1973, archaeologists excavated an early Western Han Dynasty tomb in Changsha, Hunan province, known as the Mawangdui tombs. Among incredibly precious artifacts, they found a copy of the Tao Te Ching written on silk. The academic world was electrified, excited because we might finally see a text closer to Laozi's time, but shocked because it differed significantly in crucial places from the version passed down for 1 to 2 millennia. That standard version, mainly based on the annotations by scholar Wang Bai from the Three Kingdoms period around the 3rd century AD, is still the primary one published today. Statistics show over 700 textual differences between the silk manuscript and the standard versions. These aren't mere copying errors. Many changes are systematic, with deep reasons. The first reason is avoiding taboos, called buhui. In ancient China, the emperor's name was sacred and untouchable. Any character matching it in writing had to be changed or substituted. For example, when the Qing dynasty's 4th prince Yinjing became emperor, he forced his brothers to change the yin in their names to yin. The silk manuscript, copied in the early Western Han, avoided the taboo of its emperor, Liu Heng. The very first line reads, "The Tao that can be spoken of is not the Heng Tao. The name that can be named is not the Heng name." The word Heng means eternal, constant. Because Emperor Wen was named Lu Heng, the standard version replaced Heng with Chang, which also means constant or usual, resulting in, the Tao that can be spoken of is not the Chang Tao. While Chang implies constancy, the absolute, timeless sense of Heng is subtly weakened. It's like changing immortal truth to common principle, altering the flavor. Similarly, the word Bang, meaning state or nation, was tabooed because of the founding emperor Liu Bang. The silk manuscript's Bang became Guo, also meaning state or country, in the standard version. Hundreds of such small changes collectively fractured the original precision. The second reason is evolving language. Language lives and changes. Ancient scribes copying and spreading the text might adjust it for smoother flow or brevity. The Silk manuscript retains many pre-Qin grammatical particles like the yai and hu. These were crucial in classical Chinese, marking pauses, tone, and logic. For example, Tao, Ke Dao, the Fei Heng Dao, those are the particles give a deliberate, explanatory rhythm, emphasizing the distinction between the speakable Dao and the Heng Dao. The standard version deletes these, becoming the punchier Dao, Ke Dao, Fei Cheng Dao. While more concise and rhythmic, it loses the original's measured cadence and inherent pauses. The third and arguably most significant reason is the infiltration and harmonization of ideas. Laozi lived in the era of the 100 schools of thought, an explosion of ideas where Taoism flourished. But, by the reign of Emperor Wu of Han, Confucianism became the official orthodoxy under the policy dismissed the 100 schools. Revere Confucianism alone. During the Tao Te Ching's long transmission, especially under this Confucian dominance, passages deemed too radical or directly conflicting with core Confucian values were subtly corrected. This was a profound process of ideological harmonization or taming. Let's examine a few key altered lines where the shift changed meaning significantly. Da Qi Mian Cheng versus Da Qi Wan Cheng. This famous change shifts Laozi's course subtly but crucially. The Silk manuscript's Mian Cheng, meaning needs no forcing or is free from artificial completion, embodies pure natural non-action, called Wu Wei, rejecting forced achievement and honoring innate perfection. The standard version's Wan Cheng, meaning is late-formed, injects a Confucian, like value of striving and delayed gratification, pulling Taoist non-action towards worldly action. One advocates letting go and returning to essence. The other encourages effort for future success. The idea Mian Cheng better fits Laozi's Wu Wei philosophy. Truly great, perfect things are naturally complete. They don't need human carving or forcing completion, much like a genius in their field possesses innate talent. This aligns perfectly with the concepts Tao follows nature and Wu Wei. Think of Michelangelo describing sculpture. The statue was already in the stone. He just removed the excess. True greatness emerges naturally as a state of being. Wan Cheng implies great achievements take significant time to complete, aligning with the familiar Confucian persevere and succeed ethic, embodied in sayings like jade uncut won't become a vessel. While this message was likely seen as more teachable, it doesn't match Laozi's original thought. Dao Bao Wuming versus Dao Yin Wuming. The Silk manuscript's Bao, meaning embraces or nourishes, shows Dao's positive aspect. Abundant, vibrant, the ultimate reality nurturing all like a mother. The standard version's Yin, meaning hides, emphasizes Dao's mystery and distance. Dao Bao Wu Ming means Dao is so vast, filling the cosmos, silently nourishing and embracing all things without claiming credit. Here, Dao is active, vital, and generous, just beyond words, with everything bathed in its grace. As chapter 39 suggests, thus, the highest praise is no praise. Thus, do not wish to be jade, like valued, nor stone, like rejected. Dao Yin Wu Ming feels more like withdrawing and hiding glory after the act. While both ideas can relate to Laozi's thought, the key being acting spontaneously, stepping forward if the time is right, or withdrawing if not, the emphasis shifts notably. Zi Jin, Zi Dao versus Zi. Jiyu Zi Dao. Changing just Jin, meaning today, to Jiyu, meaning ancient, profoundly affects how Dao's wisdom is applied to governance and real problems. The Silk manuscript phrase, grasp today's Tao, paints Laozi as a pragmatic reformer. Wisdom must be applied flexibly to solve current issues, showing strong practical concern and a spirit for change. The standard version grasped ancient Tao makes him appear more traditional, fitting Confucian reverence for ancient sages. Zi Jin Zi Dao conveys a vital idea. Tao's truth is eternal, but its application to each era's specific problems must evolve with the times. The truth is constant. Tao is constant, but methods and strategies must suit the present reality. This shows Laozi's pragmatic, flexible side. He wasn't a fossilized conservative, but emphasized adapting great wisdom to current challenges. The Zhuangzi records Laozi advising Confucius, who sought guidance on ancient rituals. The 6 arts you value are mere traces of ancient kings, not their true essence. Footprints are made by feet. Your learning just inherits finished products, like studying footprints while ignoring the foot. Hence, grasp today's Tao to govern today's affairs. Times change. Methods must, too. Governing with unchanging ancient ways isn't the Taoist way. Zhi Dao perfectly aligns with the Confucian core of emulating the ancient kings, seeing their ways as perfect blueprints for later ages. While respectful of tradition, this risks conservatism and detachment from reality. Zhu Wei Qi El versus Zhu Ren Qi Yi. This change directly challenges core Confucian values and sparked intense debate. The Silk manuscript says, eliminate falsity and scheming, a critique of universal human flaws like hypocrisy and calculation, not conflicting directly with Confucianism. The standard versions, Zhu Ren Qi Yi, meaning eliminate benevolence and righteousness, pushes Taoism directly against Confucianism's central virtues, fueling the historical Confucian-Taoist conflict. Many later critics used this to portray Laozi as anti-morality. However, the Silk manuscript shows Laozi wasn't opposing Ren, benevolence, or Yi, righteousness, themselves. He later explicitly mentions act with kindness. He opposed the hypocrisy, affectation, and scheming mindsets performed under the banner of Ren and Yi for reputation's sake. So, today we've explored Laozi's life and some of the major textual controversies within the Tao Te Ching. I am Amber. Catch you next time.